Have you ever walked away from a situation feeling completely disregarded or misunderstood in that conversation and the communication? Guys, today's lesson is all about self advocacy. It's about learning how to communicate for yourself and share your needs and desires effectively, right? And this can come with doctors, with um, colleagues, with parents, with bosses. It can come on any spectrum. You being able to self advocate your needs is critical. And I'm going to break down just 3 simple steps that I'm grateful I learned decades ago and I've brought into my life ever since in order to be heard and be understood for what I always had going on. Is it foolproof? Absolutely not. People are still going to only hear to the level that they want to hear you. And it'll help you communicate in a more impactful way and know if you have to go around whatever person is not currently hearing you. But at least you'll know you're advocating in such a way that your side is clean, right? Number one, first and foremost, get to know yourself, both physically and what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what feels right, what doesn't feel right, and get to know what you want. It's hard to advocate for yourself if you don't know what you want in life. It's hard to advocate for yourself if you can't effectively talk about how you're feeling, right? Which brings me to point number 2. Guys, learning how to self communicate, both with yourself and especially with other people, is so critical. If you're currently missing this communication trait for any reason, I highly recommend to start working on it, even if it's in small chunks of learning how to communicate in small ways. I can tell you by nature, I'm more of an ambivert. I can gear on introverted side, I can gear on extroverted side, and I'm a great communicator. So if I can learn how to communicate effectively, trust me, anyone can. And I know it can be scary sometimes. If you're out there listening saying, Jen, it's too scary or nervy or I don't know how or whatever it is, just know if I can come from where I've come from and communicate as well as I do in life and in business, any of you can. So learn how to communicate. There is so much information and strategies and resources. Heck, I'm happy to be a resource for anyone who needs it anytime in learning how to both advocate and communicate for yourself. So, at learn how to communicate, learn yourself, right? Next is educate yourself. I can tell you, especially for me, as it relates to health, going into situations knowing what the heck I was talking about has always gotten me further with my medical practitioners than not. And actually, as I say that out loud, even with my bosses in the past, the more that I was fluid in my knowledge and what the heck I was talking about, it was always easier to communicate and advocate for myself. So educate yourself in whatever area that you need to so that you can come in strong. Finally, get help. We are not meant to do everything on our own. And there are times in life that when it comes to advocating for ourselves, we might need some help. We might need some help just helping us in the know-how of how to do it. Or we may need some actual help in the having someone represent and be our voice for us. And there's nothing wrong with that if you need it. So, today's lesson, learning and strengthening your ability to self advocate for yourself in 4 steps. Again, to quick recap. Step 1, get to know yourself. Step 2, enhance your communication. Learn how to communicate. Number 3, educate yourself. And number 4, get help if you need it. So that's all I have for today. See you back here tomorrow, guys. Thanks.